Good evening, everyone. I was thinking that today maybe I would give a little talk in English about different uh, matters related to language. First of all, I wanted to comment on Oscar's video. I think it's called like La Gestión del Tiempo, like time management and learning language. It was an excellent video that Oscar did. I want to compliment him on it. Now, time management is really an important thing, as he was pointing out there. It's far more important than most people realize. You know, a lot of people. I talked to a lot of people. They say, "I'd love to learn another language, but I don't have time. I can never find time in the day." And when I start working on a language, I find out I no longer have time to pay the bills and things like this. Well, the real thing is that time is something that we can and harness. So the real problem is not that people don't have time. The real problem is that people don't know how to harness time. And there's so many dead moments during the day that we can take advantage of. I mean, just the act of shaving. You know, I think it's so boring to have to shave my face, but if I can memorize a couple of words in a foreign language while I'm doing so, well, I've that moment has taken on a great deal of value. A moment that would normally just be another wasted minute of the day. So yeah, time management is extremely important. And then I was watching some videos by this young gentleman by the name of Cody, and he's really discovered another thing that can be highly useful, and that's just having this the language as part of your background, as part of a background sound. I do this all the time. You know, it's instead of having the radio on and listening to a lot of news that I'm not interested in hearing for the most part, I have my language tapes on constantly. And another thing, I was talking about playing these late at night. Well, yeah, I've always been afflicted with insomnia, and I found out when I was in college age myself, I found out that this was a way of dealing with insomnia. Was I would just put on German and French tapes, and that would actually help me sleep. I would be taking in the language, and it would help me sleep as well. That doesn't mean that Cody can't copyright his idea. You know, if he wants to, well, no problem. Okay, so there we have two polyglots that have really, I think, have been hitting the nail on the head very much. Okay, and in order to finish my little talk, I think I would talk a little bit about Chinese characters, or kanji, you know, if you're studying Japanese. Well, I spent a major portion of the day rereading one of my own poetry books in Chinese translation. That was really interesting because I found a lot of my comprehension was strictly ocular. You know, there's different views on Chinese characters. Some people say they are something that transcends sound, and there's this other view that Chinese writing is just a very complicated phonetic system. Well, of course, there's truth in both points of view. You know, there are phonetic components in a lot of Chinese characters. But what I've been finding is often I can't even remember how the word is pronounced in Chinese. I just see the character, and it instantly enters into my brain. It's like seeing a familiar face. That's instant flash of knowledge. And you know, I see the word for strange in Chinese. The characters for strange, and I can't remember how to pronounce it. But I know my brain registers right away the meaning. So I think maybe this element is predominant in Chinese writing. I'd like to see what other people think, whatever opinions are out there. And there's another thing, the Chinese writing is so beautiful that this, to my way of thinking, or to my way of being, I should say, this makes up for the complexity and the difficulty of learning Chinese characters. It's just the sheer beauty of them is like more than a recompensation for the degree of difficulty. Okay, and yeah, I did my polyglot workout today. I spent about half of the day, it's a Saturday, don't have to work, so I spent about half of the day working on my Latin, and I'm very much, let's say, very much an advocate of living Latin. Latin as a living language is far more interesting than Latin just as this written language that you learn in order to maybe do philological studies and so forth. It's much more interesting to be able to converse. You know, I'd love to be able to converse fluently in this language. And then, as mentioned, I spent about the other half of the day just reading in Chinese. So it was a very, today was very much a polyglot workout for me. Well, that's all for all. 再见.